My name's Amy Fitzpatrick and I'm General Manager here at Blue-Green Yonder. Blue-Green Yonder is an outdoor adventure centre, mainly based here on Castle Island in Enniskillen in County Fermanagh, but we also are located across Lough Erne, so we have activities running in Crum this summer. We have activities down on the lower loch, so we're throughout Lough Erne and we move depending on hires and stuff that come in, but our main base is here in Enniskillen. Blue-Green Yonder was set up by our founding director Trevor Foster back in 2018. In 2018 it was kind of set up for friends to go paddling, and then from there kind of the demand for paddleboarding, kayaking and canoeing hire, and that side of the water activity business kind of evolved, and then we started with our kids programs and stuff like that. So it was all very small when we first started it, and kind of as the year progressed and as the years have gone on, we have grown and grown, and up until 2 years ago we were based out of the Blue Ways Water Activity Zone up at Regal's Pass, and then we got Castle Island about 2 years ago, so we've been here ever since. And it just goes to show how much it's grown and evolved. You can hear the kids screaming in the background. That's one of our summer camps that we started 5 years ago now. This is our 5th year, and we've gone from 15 kids in a summer camp up until we're sitting about 30-35 now. Sustainable tourism for us is mainly based around the waterways. It's changed now having Castle Island, but back when we started, and it's still a big part of our ethos, is making the waterways a lot cleaner than what they are when we first find them. So when anytime we're out in a paddle, be that a guided paddle to Devonish Island or anywhere on the loch, or even just going around the island town of Enniskillen, it's picking up litter as we go around. It's being able to provide everybody with like the history and the culture of the area, as well as embracing and using those leave no trace principles as well. The price of everything, especially sustainable tourism, is a lot higher than normal everyday products that you'll be buying in the shop. So like even just compostable cups are that bit more expensive, and especially for a new business, it's a lot harder to be able to go, well, do we go for that dear option or do we go for the cheaper option, which is the less sustainable? So sometimes you're coming across those barriers, and as well just trying to get the word out there. So like when we're on the water and doing litter picks and those sort of things, it's trying to get everybody to kind of have their say in it, and you know, people are not going to listen all the time, so it's trying to do our best, the best we can. So even down on some of the islands, Inishtavar being one of them, Bluebell Island, it's one of the nicest when the bluebells come out, but when the boats and boatloads of people, there's no bins on it, so everybody just leaves the rubbish, they don't take it away with them. So trying to just provide that knowledge and being like, right, take your rubbish away with you and stuff like that. So Culka Lakelands has been a massive part for sustainable tourism. We teamed up with them a few years ago. Myself and Trevor are both heritage champions, and from that Blue-Green Yonder was then part of their sustainable tourism businesses programme that they run. So we are known as a Culka Lakelands sustainable tourism business. So we've developed different models that we're trying now to implement throughout Castle Island and throughout our business, so like changing light bulbs and that sort of thing, and hopefully in the future we will become solar powered and that sort of thing. That's the target that we're working towards. But also just teaming up with local businesses, so we've teamed up with Into the Wild for food events, or Barry's Water Taxi over here to provide different packages and stuff, and just promote each other as well. We also work alongside Fermanagh Lakelands and other partners like that. I think sustainable tourism advice is still, for me, relatively hard to find. The tourism space, it's based down in the Republic of Ireland, is kind of where a lot of our advice has come from, because it was part of the Sustainable Businesses programme, and the Culka Lakelands has been really good at helping us with any sustainable advice that we're needing. But online's then our next best shout. I think getting more programmes running with sustainable advice, even Zoom meetings and stuff like that, or Zoom talks and stuff, would be more helpful. I know Tourism Ireland and Tourism Northern Ireland and Discover and I are trying to bring out some more stuff, but even just starting to promote it more. It is getting better, but it's just going to take time, I think, at this stage. We struggle with funding that we're trying to get because we're a business, and different factors are having an implement on that. So we haven't actually been able to get successful tourism, sustainable funding, but it's something that we're continuing to look into. One, because we're being too small or too big, depending on the size of grants that we're getting and stuff like that. COVID for us, we found, was a great way to get people outdoors and active. Our numbers increased because a lot more people were staying at home. Now that tourism is going back into flying and going away on holiday, our tourism numbers have dropped. And I think this year with the bad weather it hasn't helped, and a load of the locals in the area are finding that as well, that there has been a dip in tourism this year. So hopefully now over the next few years it will start to rise again, and with us being a sustainable business and starting to implement that more, hopefully our numbers will increase again.